Let's go straight to our all-wise political panel. Get some more on this. Ari Melber is back, correspondent for The Nation magazine, and a good one. Kevin Madden, former 2008 Romney campaign senior advisor. Matt Lewis, Daily Caller senior contributor. Thank you, gentlemen. Kevin, go to you first with the question de nuit. The debate starts in just a few moments. Will Mitt come out swinging? Will he be aggressive the way he was on Monday night?
Robert Costa is a good reporter. I think he's right. I think Governor Romney will be very aggressive. Look, he's going to be aggressive in drawing the contrast that are needed for voters to make an informed decision about whether or not they want to see Newt Gingrich as the nominee or someone like Governor Romney as the nominee. Essentially, you're going to have a choice between somebody who's a lifelong politician and somebody who's worked in the private sector, somebody who's been a governor, somebody who brings an outside perspective to Washington. I think he's also going to be very aggressive in prosecuting the case against President Obama on the economy. Are we going to be a country that puts its faith in the government with regard to spurring economic development, or are we going to put our faith in the American people? So I think on those issues tonight, Governor Romney will be very aggressive.
Matt Lewis, let me go to you. I am disturbed. Look, Newt Gingrich is an old friend. It certainly isn't personal, but I told him directly in the interview how disturbed and disappointed I was that he's now gone back to capitalist bashing. I mean, cheap shots about Swiss bank accounts and things of that nature, saying Mitt Romney didn't have to income. That sounds desperate to me, Matt. That's what I'm asking. It sounds desperate, and it's going to backfire against Newt. Will he go there tonight?
Well, I think a couple things. Number one, Larry, he is desperate. Florida is hugely important. It is pretty much the end of the road, I think. You know, Gingrich sort of has to win Florida. I think at least the way he had to win South Carolina. So desperation is probably apt. Look, I think if Newt Gingrich is smart, he will not go after Romney on the Swiss bank accounts and on Bain. Let somebody else do that. Let surrogates do that. Let the mainstream media do it. Let the super PAC do it. Newt Gingrich, there are plenty of things with Mitt Romney you could attack him on, whether it's Romney Care or whatever. So we'll see if Gingrich follows that advice or decides to go down that rabbit hole. And then lastly, Larry, I would say, I do think we have to, sort of caution the viewers, though, that I think the populist message may not resonate to a lot of viewers of CNBC, but I think it resonates more to a lot of average American conservatives out there. If you look at the people backing Newt Gingrich, people like Sarah Palin, Mark Levin, Eric Erickson at Red State, there are a lot of grassroots conservatives out there who support Gingrich. And it's sort of like an old Reagan thing versus a Bush thing.
All right, let me go to Ari Melber. First of all, I just want to make very clear, Ronald Reagan never bashed capitalism, ever. You're wrong on that, Matt Lewis. You're completely wrong. But I want to ask Ari, as an observer, you're with the nation. The nation's on the other side of the aisle from these Republican conservatives. What does it look like to you? Gingrich going back to a Bain capital bashing like message, actually insulting Romney yesterday by saying he didn't work to earn his money, which I think is a horrible personal insult. But what's it look like to you, Ari?
I'll tell you, Larry, Newt Gingrich is a protester. He's a protest candidate. He's appealing to the protest energy that is on the right, and that was Tea Parties, that was healthcare town halls. It's about, and that's why he needs the media. He needs the fight. You look for him tonight to be going not directly after Mitt Romney, but going after media elites and trying to position himself as the angriest protester around.
Is he going to go? Is he going to go after my good friend Wolf Blitzer? Is that what's going to happen? Or my pal Gloria Borgia? They're both old friends of mine. Is he going to start early on that area? Just pick him out, pick a fight, and start the whole thing up?
It'll be early and often, and he will want Wolf to be howling. He needs that, and he needs that more than a direct contrast with Romney. If Newt is hurting, which has been the thesis of several of the contributions you've had on the show, it is not because of Mitt Romney. It is because there are now credible conservatives coming out and saying he's not a true conservative.
Right.
And I think that's the point here. If you take away one thing, Newt Gingrich's biggest vulnerability is that he's not a consistent conservative, whether that's about Bain and private equity or the fact that he supported the individual mandate or some of his kooky ideas about the courts that you've spotlighted before. None of those things, in my mind, are traditional conservative values. The problem for Mitt Romney is people don't see him as a credible conservative carrier of that message.
Well, okay. Let's go to Kevin on this. Kevin, this is an interesting turn of events now. Bob Dole was out on the tape this afternoon supporting Mitt Romney and bashing Newt Gingrich. Bashing Newt pretty bad. John McCain bashed Newt earlier. You had, of course, the Bob Terrell from the American Spectator writing a tough article on Newt. My pal Elliot Abrams, actually my friend going back to Pat Moynihan days when we worked on that side of the aisle, wrote a really rough piece in the National Review.
Right.
Kevin, what does this mean? Why are these conservatives coming out and slamming Newt Gingrich so much?
Well, look, I think there's a couple of reasons. First, I don't think it breaks along ideological lines as much as it breaks along the lines of these are people who know Newt Gingrich. They've seen him up close. They've witnessed his lack of leadership as somebody who was in a position of power in the late 90s, and they just believe that he would take the country in the wrong direction. He's very erratic. I mean, his interview tonight, he showed that he was very irrational. He's pointing his finger at the camera. At a time where we face a great deal of economic challenges in this country, is this somebody that we want to nominate to lead the party? I think the answer on that is no. And these are the type of arguments that many of these people who know Newt Gingrich are trying to make.
I mean, Matt Lewis, just to stay with Kevin's argument, National Review Online is running a poll 2-to-1. People don't want Newt. Are you exhilarated? Are you happy? They're very unhappy with it. Is the Republican Party threatened by Newt Gingrich? I guess that's the bottom line. Are they threatened by Newt Gingrich? I'll give you the last word, Matt Lewis.
Well, I think some in the establishment are. I think that that clearly the establishment Republican Party has lined up against Gingrich. I think some of it is frankly because he's not their type of person. They're more comfortable with a businessman like Romney. Some of it, I think, is legitimate. Gingrich has been erratic, but look, he also gave Republicans the Republican Revolution. He gave Americans working with Bill Clinton 4 balanced budgets. And read, Major Garrett over at National Journal has an interesting piece out today talking about why Bob Dole doesn't like, for example.
Well, that's true.
Doesn't like Newt Gingrich, and it's because Bob Dole wanted to raise taxes.
All right, I got to jump out. Ari Melber, Kevin Madden, Matt Lewis, thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
That'll do it for tonight's show. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll have a lot of debate discussion tomorrow night. I'm Kudlow. We'll see you then.